We've all been there before. You're running low on beer, you've had a long day at work, and next thing you know, it's already night time. Well, tonight I'm going to show you how to make a fantastic pale ale using very easy basic ingredients. If you've got some Cascade hops, some crystal malt, some light malt extract, and a packet of yeast, you can make my Death Valley Pale Ale. First we heat 12 litres of water to about 60 degrees Celsius and we steep 500 grams of milled crystal malt for half an hour. After 30 minutes, remove the grains from out of the warm water, put it into a strainer, let it drip. Get 2 litres of warm water to sparge the grains. That's effectively tipping over the grain bag and letting the clean water flush all the sugars still attached to the grain husks out. Once I've removed the grains, I then add 2 cans of light malt extract. There are many different businesses making their own malt extract. So which one's best for you? Doesn't really matter. Find one what works for you. In my case, I'm going with a brand called Deliverance. They're a local business in my area, only 10-15 minutes down the road. You go into the shop, always very helpful, always point you in the right direction, always give you a good product. Once I've emptied all the liquid malt extract into my kettle and given it a good stir, I then crank up the heat and get it to a boil. The Death Valley Pale Ale has 4 hop additions. We add 15 grams of Cascade hops with 60 minutes to boil, so as soon as you've got the water boiling, add your first hop addition. Then with 30 minutes left to boil, add your second hop addition, another 15 grams of Cascade hops. This is where things get a little juicier. 15 minutes left to boil, you add 30 grams of Cascade hops. After 60 minutes, your wort's done boiling, turn the heat off and throw in your final hop addition, another 40 grams of Cascade hops. Now you've finished the 60-minute boil and added your final hop addition, it's time to pick your wort up and put in a nice bath of cold water. That'll help cool it down to pitching temperature way quicker. Now you find with Cascade hops there are 2 different types, American Cascade hops and New Zealand Cascade hops. Because I'm making an American style pale ale, I choose to buy the American Cascade hops. I've chilled my wort down to a good temperature. I'm going to add it to my fermenter, top it up with water to about 21 litres, then I'm going to add the old trusty pink one, Safale US 05. Now in the past I've rehydrated my yeast, thrown the yeast in, straight out of the pack into the ferment to dry. Truth of the matter is, I don't think it matters too much. Packet yeast these days, if you get a good brand, they're usually pretty good and there's often no need to rehydrate. So if you're one person who likes to rehydrate their yeast, absolutely, keep doing it. If you just prefer throwing it straight out of the packet into your fermenter, hey, awesome. That's great. I've got my wort down to 25 degrees Celsius, which is a good temperature to pitch the yeast. I tip the yeast packet straight into the fermenter, lid on, airlock on, into my fermentation chamber. I've set that at 18 degrees. So we'll let the fermentation process go and we'll check on it in a few weeks.
My Death Valley Pale Ale is one of my go-to beers. I've always got it on tap. I may cycle through other beers in my kegerator, but I've always got my Death Valley Pale Ale. The reason for that's simple. You can buy hops in 100-gram lots. I use half a kilo of crystal. Bags of specialty grains you can buy in half-kilo bunches. If not, you buy a 1 kilo bunch and you've got enough crystal for 2 batches. The reason I do this is simple. It's so I don't have leftover products. Like, there's nothing worse than having 15, 20 grams of hops laying around and you're like, what am I going to do with that? Now back to the beer. Original gravity was 1.056, final gravity was 1.012, gives the alcohol reading of 5.7%. So yeah, it's up there. However, it's time to taste it. Wow. 10 times out of 10, this beer always hits the mark. I mean, it's hoppy, it's malty, it's very typical of an American style pale ale. It's the reason I keep making it. You know, I don't know what to say. It's if you went to a bar and pointed at a pale ale you've never had before, it very well could taste like this. And you can make it at home, easy enough. That's the brilliant thing about this. Okay, until next time, make a beer. Make this beer. Subscribe to me. Don't subscribe. Flip me off. Call me a name in the comments. But have fun doing it. Cheers.